Hey, yo, dog, what up? Sorry, I'm trying a new intro. I don't know. It didn't work? I don't think it worked. I think it was bad. Okay, I'll revamp it. I'll come up with something new next week. Okay, what we need to do, though, is go back to talking to everybody that we talked to last week. So I think we finished with talking to Alistair, but we're going to double check with that. And we have a lot of people to talk to. So that's pretty much going to be the majority of what we're doing this time around, so we don't have to do it for like another 20 episodes.
Something on your mind?
Yes, Alistair, I have questions.
Of course.
Should I ask that? I don't know. I think I... Oh, let's see if you can teach people to be
Others,
Templar. Hold
yes.
on. Yeah. Okay.
I guess...
Yeah, I know. Okay, cool. So we got the Templar.
Something
Cool.
on your mind?
I have questions.
Of course.
What is it like to be a Grey Warden with all the others? I don't know if I asked this already. I probably should have reviewed last week's episode, but we're going to go for it.
I didn't know them for very long, but I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They
Met
were
you.
Quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
No, not really. Were there any elves among you? Am I the only one? Am I a first? Am I the first elf? Am I the best elf? Answer these questions now, truthfully, Alistair, or I will stab you.
Just one. A man named Terramel. He kept to himself mostly. I got the impression that his life before the Grey Wardens was unpleasant. There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? Gregor. He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
Sounds like you had a lot of fun.
Sometimes. We were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... Well, anyhow. It doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out.
Dang.
I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly...
Died. Wow. Wow, Alistair, that was a low blow. A lot of people have died, Alistair, and a lot more will.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by, nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me.
Well, I've got his swords.
That must sound really stupid to you.
Pretty stupid. But, you know, you have your memories of him. That's something, right?
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there? He's gone. Let's just go.
Sorry, Alistair. There we go. So we got the Templar unlocked. That popped up from the last time. I think there was one thing else to say.
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, Morgan is pretty cool. I'm a little biased. Leliana is also pretty cool. But I think she swings for the other team, if you know what I mean. Same with Zevran. I think he does the same thing. So I'm trying to avoid him just because, well, I mean, Morgan, I don't want her getting the wrong idea. Then you have Wynn. Well, she's old. And you have Ogren. He's a dwarf. So really, it's just, I mean, you left, and it's you. I guess Shale, too, but she's a rock. I like our entire group. What do you want to know? I don't mind.
How about Ogren? You must have an opinion on the smell, at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, he can take a shower. Don't get me wrong, but I actually quite like him.
I would too if he could stick to the ribald stories and not so much with the belching and projectile vomiting. How he lifts his sword is a bit of a mystery, though I suppose the point is that he does lift it, and so long as we can point him in the right direction, he charges too. He has gusto, I'll give him that.
He's a fighter.
Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow?
You mean the one that he told to us that he won't kill us and he'll work for us because we saved him? Maybe.
That's a lot to put on a maybe, isn't it? He's an assassin. The crows aren't known for giving up. Maybe he's just biding his time.
Possibly. But, you know, if he tries anything, we're probably just going to kill him anyways.
Well, at least you're considering the possibility. He just seems shifty to me. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
He is a big, lumbering, very quiet person. In any other time, you would think he's a mass murderer. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what he did to get himself in that jail to begin with. So, yeah, he's a little creepy. But, you know, sometimes you need someone who's willing to do the dirty work. So, I think overall, I respect him as a warrior, but I fear him for going crazy and leaving us.
The more I talk to him, the more reasonable he does seem.
Yeah.
His philosophy is
True.
so strange. But it doesn't sound at all as vile as the Chantry describes it. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
You know what? It does a little. It does.
Yet he seems otherwise honorable and even wise. I don't get it.
That's
What about
Tanari.
Leliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
I think her vision could be real, but at most of the time, if she believes it, then I believe it because she's just one of those people that you trust. So I don't know. I guess I believe it.
That's one way to put it. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
Well, you know, Alistair, there's a whole other story there that you're missing, but we'll get to that when we talk to her. But she has proven very useful.
True enough. Who'd have thought a sister would prove to be an adept thief and spy, eh?
Once again, we'll get to it.
Morrigan. Do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
Do I trust her? No. Do I want to give her a second chance? Yes, because nobody else in her life has. Really, Flemeth is really the only other person, but I think this is her first time at getting a second chance, and I think she deserves it, regardless if she fails or not with the second chance. So, yeah, let's go with a, if you ever have them in the party together, which we will here in a little bit, they do bicker at each other a bit, kind of like when we were coming back from the southern reaches there. They were fighting, but they don't really like each other.
Well, aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch.
Whoa!
No,
Throwing
I
the
don't
B
like her
word.
at all. Why, do you?
You know, it's, I mean, I did say that I was a little biased to begin with, right? Yeah, I like her just fine.
Great. I am thrilled beyond words. Now, really.
Sarcasm.
Just
Good
tell
one.
me one thing. Is it true what the others say? Do you have a thing going with Morrigan?
Kind of.
Tell me it's not true.
It's not really. I mean, it was just kind of like one thing. What the others say? Wait, so they're talking about me then, huh?
You think we have better things to do all day than talk about you? Come on, tell me it's not true.
Are you jealous?
Oh, someone's a little touchy, eh? Attacking my manhood and everything. That must mean it's true. Well, fine. It's your funeral.
Don't look so smug,
Enough.
Alistair.
I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Cool. I always love talking to him. He's a character in his own. See if he has anything else.
Something on your mind? Of course.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Okay. So Alistair's done. We talked to Morrigan a bit. And then we talked to her, you know what I mean? And now, let's move on. I'm thinking Ogren? No, let's go Leliana. She's the next one.
Something I can help with?
When did I put you in that? I'm sorry, I don't ever remember putting you in that armor, but... Who knows? Maybe I did. Well, yeah. What was I? Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Why did you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
Okay, so you're technically Ferelden, but you're from Orlais. Okay, that makes sense. I guess. Kind of. Maybe. Possibly. Probably not. What happened to your mom?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
Wow, that was weird. The audio glitched at the end there. Do you remember nothing of your mother?
Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andrastis Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
That's it? Okay, well, we got more things to talk
Something I
about.
can help with?
Yep, of course. I would like to talk to you about
Yes?
something.
What's on your mind?
And do you miss anything about Orlais, continuing on with our last conversation?
I miss Val-Royeaux. Unlike
The what?
other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val-Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val-Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
Well, that sounds amazing, I guess.
Oh, it would take me a day or two to talk about the many splendors of Orlais, her golden fields, her lush meadows. Of course, there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
What sort of things?
Dresses, fine dresses and furs, and shoes, of course. One can't mingle with nobility with bad shoes, you see.
I see.
Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes, living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
So, you're into shoes. I'm going to choose it just because I can. Oh, I love shoes.
When I left Orlais,
Just
the
no
fashion
response.
was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
Stupid choice. Yeah, you lost me.
Never mind. I just have a weakness for pretty shoes. It is so frivolous of me, I know. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we?
We do. Like, not talk about shoes.
Something I can help with?
Yeah, don't talk
Yes?
about shoes.
What's on your mind?
I'm not a shoe person. That's what's on my mind. I'm sorry. Okay. You were a traveling minstrel. You're a bard. Do you have tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Okay. No any stories of Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
That sounds interesting.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
You know, I think this is I think Aveline in Dragon Age 2, which we will meet when we get to her, is a reference to this. I don't think that's her, but I think they it's kind of a callback to it, because Aveline in Dragon Age 2 is a lot of what she is describing.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Go on.
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Oh, I was hoping for a happy ending.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
That's a good story. You're good at this. Who would think a bard was good at telling stories? Now tell me about the Darkspawn.
Chantry lore says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin, and it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Okay. Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Yeah. You know, that whole thing. By the way, she's dead. Should I tell you that? Yeah. Yes, I've heard of Flemeth.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Strangely enough, that's kind of what she does, apparently. Apparently. Well, okay. Tell me the whole story, whatever.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
And then, the plot thickens.
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds
Do you
with
guys see
the
what's
chasing
going on
tribes.
with Wynn's
They
face?
lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time.
That is creepy
Flemeth's
as hell.
heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many chastened men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
You know, I totally wasn't listening to a word you were saying because Wynn was scaring the hell out of me back there with her, like, disconnected head that looked like a doll. It was creepy. Do you have another story at all?
Which one?
Gosh. Oh, let's move on.
It will come to you soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I want to learn more about you and less about these stories. So let's talk to you.
Something I can help with?
Actually, you know what? Go back. Go back. Thank you. Is she still doing it? No. It's like once I was far away. There it is. You can kind of see it from a distance. Can I zoom out enough to... No, I don't think I can. But at a distance, her hair and stuff doesn't render properly, and then it pops in. That's really
Something
creepy.
I can help with?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yes? What's on your mind?